What up? What up? We're here with Bet on It MMA. I'm Zach with your boy Harley, and
What up, guys?
short and simple. You know, we about to make some bank on this card. If you stay, if you've been following us, you've been winning money. You've been picking the right fights. We have winning records on every single video that we drop. You could check the Carfax. We're good for it. Watch the whole video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and the best thing about it, it's free. Right? We're not charging anything for our parlays, our predictions, our picks. It's all free. So all we ask is that you subscribe and yeah. Anything before we start this video off, Harley?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, there's gonna be some good fights right here. This is looking down the card. For the sometimes the fight night card it's not, it doesn't really live up to the hype. You got some low level guys, some up and coming guys. This fight night card is the exception, man. They got some a great main event, really good card all around, man. And um I think this for me personally, this is one of the most trickiest cards that we've done. But I'm pretty confident in our picks. I'm looking forward to getting into it, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we want to remind y'all that we are not financial advisors. Do your own research, just like we do it, but we're here to help. All right, breaking down our first fight on UFC Orlando, we have Yasmin. Not even going to try to pronounce her last name just in case she
Good
watches.
call.
She got them hands. I don't want no part of it. She's 9-0 overall in MMA, coming off her debut decision victory, 1-0 in the UFC. And we got her facing Estela Nunez, 6-3 overall, looking to get her first win in the UFC, 0-2 overall in the UFC. What do we have for this fight?
Yeah, man. Like you said, Yasmin, we're not gonna try to pronounce her last name, but with that being said, she got some good hands, man. And I think that's gonna be the difference in this fight. I'm going with Yasmin by decision. Like we said, uh, I think she's the better overall striker. I give her the speed advantage on the feet as well. For Nunez to win, she's got to use her height and her reach advantage. Um, but here's her kryptonite in this fight. I think she Nunez, man, she goes backwards a lot. I don't know if you noticed that on film, but she's on her back foot a lot, and I think that's gonna cost her. Um I think Yasmin's gonna catch her going backwards, man, and sting her a few times. I don't see her getting a stoppage, but like I said, Yasmin's the better striker. If Nunez wants to win, she's got to use her height and her reach advantage, and I really don't see that happening. But if she can use it, maybe, you know, stay at range, she'll have a chance. But I see Yasmin picking her apart on the feet, and that being the difference in the fight.
No doubt, no doubt. So, Estela Nunez is 0-2 in the UFC. She is 0-2.
Yeah, and
But
I forgot to mention that as well. She's desperate for a win. Yeah,
but
that's a good point as well.
really good striker. If you see her fight, she usually wins the stand up part and kind of gets caught in the cage, gets taken down, or kind of gouges out second or third round. She is a good striker, but like you pointed out, she goes straight back. Yasmin is a good striker and she holds her ground or comes forward. I think the biggest difference, if you see Yasmin's fights outside the UFC, the girl can grapple. She's very well rounded. She showed it just like once or twice in her debut fight, but good body lock takedowns, and I think that's really gonna what's gonna solidify the fight for her. Standing up, it could be like it could look a little bit closer than what we're gonna think the fight's gonna be, and I think her going straight back, Yasmin holding her ground, kind of drain the gas tank of Stella, get those takedowns, because when Estella's on the ground, she is not comfortable at all. And I think Yasmin can show that, not only can she stand up, she can take it to the ground and that she's well rounded and, ultimately go to 10
I
and show she's a good prospect.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, uh, Nunez is a good striker. I have it in my notes as well. Striking heavy matchup. So it could be a fun fight, man. I'm not riding Nunez out all the way. I just think Yasmin is you know, the overall better striker. And like I mentioned earlier, I see Yasmin catching her going back. on her back foot, I think that'll be the difference. But if Nunes can use her reach and her height to her advantage, could be a different story. We'll see.
Absolutely. I'm going with late second, early third, submission victory.
Okay. I'm going Yasmin by decision, but I can see that too.
No doubt, no doubt. All right. Next fight, we have Francis Marshall, undefeated 6-0, coming off of his Dana White Contender Series fight. And we have him facing Marcelo Rojo, 16-8 overall, looking to get his first UFC win, 0-2 in the UFC. What do we have for this fight?
I'm gonna tell you, we didn't get into our parlay yet, but I'm gonna say Francis is a lot for me. I really like Francis. He's if I remember correctly, the contender series vet, right?
Yep.
Yeah, contender series guy. Um, yeah, obviously had a lot of hype behind him going to the contender series. Uh, I'm looking forward to seeing him get in there, and really start to make a name for himself in the UFC. Um, I think Francis is better everywhere, really. I see him landing some good shots on his feet, use constant pressure and output to get it to the ground. And I'm gonna go Francis by submission, but I could see him stopping Rojo as well on the feet. Just depends on how the fight plays out. But I'm gonna go Francis by submission. Don't sleep on Rojo, man. He's not bad. You know, he's not a terrible guy, but I think Francis is the the prospect. Everybody's got the hype behind. He's first fight in the UFC. Uh, Obviously, when you make your UFC debut, there's gonna be a little bit of jitters and a little bit of unknown. But I really like Francis in this fight, and I see him ultimately getting a stoppage, man. I'm gonna go submission for Francis, but like I said, wouldn't surprise me if he catches him on the feet and stops him with strikes as well.
Yeah, man. Rojo has not had the easiest path in the UFC. First fight, I think on short notice, he fought Charles Jourdain. Jourdain's been doing pretty good in the UFC. And then his second fight faces Kyler Phillips, who is an absolute animal at 145.
Yeah,
And then, damn, you get a 6-0 Francis Marshall. So,
yeah,
in those fights, Rojo, considering the fact of who he was fighting, he didn't do that bad, right? He was getting taken down, but
yeah.
was able to get back up. And when he's standing up, he's throwing kill shots. Um, but going back to Francis, man, the kid wrestled his whole life, has a good trainer with Kurt Pellegrino. That's like his golden boy. And the kid has good decent hands for being a wrestler.
Yeah, he does.
Not
Yeah.
looking to like knock guys out, looking more of to set up the wrestling, but it's good to know that he has that in his back pocket and that he's not just a wrestler. Um, I like this fight for him. I think it's a good first fight to break him into the UFC. Uh, Going 3 rounds, going the distance with this guy wouldn't be a bad thing because there's not going to be a lot of easy fights in the UFC. Not to say this is an easy fight, but get that experience in. And I feel like Francis, like you said, could get the stoppage, could get the submission. But I'm gonna go ahead and say decision win. Francis still 6-0.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
big, the last guy he fought was 5-0. This guy has like 20 MMA fights. So I think he's gonna hang in there for a little bit, and overall, Francis gets some experience. Francis by decision is what I got.
Okay. And yeah, before we move on from this fight, I want to say this too. And yeah, you mentioned it. It's good to see a prospect like Francis Marshall. Uh, he's obviously wrestling heavy. Wrestling is his bread and butter. But like you said, it's good to see a guy, a hot young prospect that is still what was it? He's still capable on his feet. He's not just so one dimensional. He can win a fight different ways. And that's good to see, man. Uh, I think this kid's got a right future in the UFC. I
Yeah,
really do.
So we both agree Francis getting the dub. All right, moving up the card. Usually we agree on things, but this card, we see each other's point of view, but we do have a couple fights that we are split on. This being one of them, we have Natan Levy 7-1, who is 1-1 in UFC. Then facing Gennaro Valdez 10-1, looking to get his first win in the UFC. 0-1 in the UFC. What do we have here?
Okay, so before I start the breakdown, I'm gonna just throw this point out right here. In this fight, you're either gonna have Lily win by decision, or you're gonna have Valdez win by knockout. There's no in between. For me, there's no gray area. You know, as far as who wins and how they win. But with that being said, I'm gonna go on a limb. This is not my most confident pick on the card, but I'm gonna go Natan Levy. Like I said, either guy can win. I'm leaning towards Levy by decision. I think he's a little bit more well-rounded. Uh, Valdez throws caution to the wind. He's a very exciting fighter. He fought Matt Rivola. Wasn't that in his UFC debut?
Yep.
He fought Rivola, and yeah, Rivola stopped him, but he had his moments in there with Rivola. You know, Valdez is a tough, durable kid, man. Um, so he's definitely alive in this fight. But I think, like I said, he throws caution to win. He gets a little excited on the feet, which makes it a fan-friendly style. I love watching the fight. But I think that that style and him throwing those big shots on his feet, I'm gonna cost him. I see Levy mixing in some takedowns, getting it to the ground, and grinding out a decision, man. But but Levy has to get it to the ground. If you don't get it to the ground, Valdez wins by stoppage. If he does get it to the ground, I see Levy winning by decision. So my final pick, I'm gonna go Levy by decision.
All right. So when it's a close fight like this for me, I look at a couple different things. I'm looking at a gas tank, and I'm looking at who got that dog in him. Valdez got that dog in him, and
Yeah, he does.
and he has the ability to put guys away, whether it's on the ground or on the feet. I don't see him putting them away on the ground. I don't see him putting the Levy away on the ground. But if you look at Levy's fight, he starts off here and tends to drop second, third round, gets a little bit slower. And Valdez, his first fight in the UFC. I know it wasn't a lot, but it showed me a lot of things. This kid got dropped 6 or 7 times. Joe Rogan, Daniel Cormier were like, "Yo, when are they gonna stop it? Oh my God!" And it's not like he's getting back; he's getting up and throwing shots. Zero quitting him.
Oh yeah,
When it's
yes
a close
indeed.
fight, I'm picking a guy like that. I got Valdez by third round TKO.
Hey, yeah, I mean that's logical, sure. You know, um, well we'll see. Like I said, not my most confident pick, but I'm gonna ride with Levy and see what happens.
No doubt, no doubt. So we're split on that fight. We both agree that it's close. You got Levy, I got Valdez, and we're gonna rock with that. All right, another good fight, man. We have Tracy Cortez 10-1 overall, facing Amanda Ribas 11-3. A good fight at 125 women's division. What do we have for this fight?
Yeah, man. Like you said, another good fight. Um, before I go into the full breakdown, I want to mention this. Uh, Tracy Cortez, more traditional style, wrestling style. Uh, Amanda Hebos, more of a judo style. Like I said, Cortez is a great wrestler, and Hebos is really dangerous on her back as well. Um, this is a pick 'em fight. But with that being said, I'm gonna go with Cortez. I'm leaning towards Cortez, and I think her wrestling is gonna be the difference, man. I'm going with Cortez. Her wrestling will be the difference. Getting to the ground, landing some good ground and pound, really good ground and pound on Hebos. She's had a history of landing good ground and pound uh, before, and I see her getting a solid decision victory uh, over Amanda Hebos.
No doubt. I will say this before we get into it. You don't have to bet on every single fight, and this is one not to bet on. Very close fight. A lot of factors play into it. If I was to put something down on it, I would bet this fight to go the distance all 3 rounds.
Yeah,
Um, I think Cortez, it really, like I said, a lot of factors. Cortez in her UFC fights, she'll show flashes of real good stuff going on, and then flashes of where you see she's still kind of new to putting it together. Not new, but she relies on her wrestling a lot. And when it comes to striking, she'll make a couple mistakes. When it comes to the grappling, she'll make a couple mistakes. But her bread and butter is wrestling. Rebos is a more well-rounded fighter. I will say that she can stand up. She does have good head and arm throws. And she's capable of finishing off of her back. I just feel like Cortez's wrestling is just gonna be a little bit too much, where Cortez kind of controls the fight on the ground. And, Rebus used to fight at 115. Now she's fighting at 125. Cortez is a 125er. And I see her just kind of edging out, on the ground. Standing up, I definitely give the advantage to Rebus. On the ground is really, it all comes down to if Rebus can get back to her feet. Is she going to stay there, try to work a guard, or is she going to have like some initiative and get back up? So I'm going Cortez decision.
yeah. And
In a
I
close fight.
want to point, yo, yeah, definitely a close fight, and I definitely see it going to this. Um, Hebos can get into the ground. It's just when you have a more traditional style wrestler, like it's a judo style fighter, I think they rely too much on those judo throws, those head on throws. Um, and so when it comes to getting to the ground, I think Cortez has more ways to get it there. Um, but another thing to point out, like I said earlier, Hebos is dangerous off her back. I don't see her submitting Cortez, but that's another thing to look at.
Right.
Um,
Could force some
so
scrambling
yeah,
for her to get up.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
All right. So we both got Cortez, but close fight. I don't recommend betting on it. If you do, all 3 rounds. All right. Next up, we have Darren Elkins, 27-10, facing, a guy on the rise right now, Jonathan Pierce, 10-4, 4 fight win streak. What do we have on this one?
I'm gonna go with Pierce by stoppage, either submission or ground and pound. Um, I think Pierce's ground game is gonna be the difference. Pierce's ground game is gonna be the difference. I think Elkins has to catch him early on his feet to get some respect and have a chance. Elkins has to make it ugly. He likes to brawl. If he can make it a brawl, he'll have a chance. But I'm gonna go with Pierce to stop Elkins in this fight, man. I really like Pierce. Like you mentioned in the intro to this fight, Pierce has been really hot on a 4 fight winning streak, and I don't see him stopping right here. Uh, I like Pierce to get the stoppage victory.
No doubt. Darren Elkins, the damage, takes one to give one, tries to out wrestle guys. There's one fight in Jonathan Pierce's career that kind of makes me see the path to victory for Elkins. And it's Joe Lozon, Pierce's debut fight. Joe Lozon took him down, body lock takedown, mounted him, and just proceeded to beat his face in. All right. Joe Lozon, Darren Elkins, around the same age. To me, Elkins is a better wrestler than Joe Lozon. Could have been, UFC jitters. I don't know. But something tells me that, Elkins is live for like a late finish or like a late still the round decision. But with that being said, I have Pierce. I think Pierce is just a better version of what Darren Elkins is, right? Darren Elkins will come forward, throw hands, get the
Oh
takedown,
yeah.
and out wrestle you, right? Pierce will come forward, throw hands, wrestle if needed, defensively or offensively. And if we have the same style here or a similar style, not the same style, I'm gonna go with the younger guy who's on a win streak and hasn't taken as much damage as the damage.
Yeah, man. And I want to point this out too. This could be a fun fight, man. Like I said, both guys have a fun style. So I mean, I'm not riding out Elkins completely, but like you said, Pierce is younger. He's the fresher fighter. He's better everywhere. Well, for the most part, he's more well rounded. I really like Pierce in this fight, but don't ride off Elkins, man. He's fun to watch. He's gonna put pressure on you. He's gonna force you to fight, so he could make it interesting.
Absolutely. So we're both going with Pierce on that one. Right, next fight we have at 155, Michael Johnson, 20 and 18. Don't let the record fool you though. And we have Mort Diakase, 16 and 5. Before we get into this one, a lot of these fights are younger guys fighting older guys, right? We just had Elkins versus Pierce, younger guy versus older guy. And that's kind of the theme of this card. So what do you see going on in this fight?
Yeah, man, this fight right here is pretty interesting, man. You got Michael Johnson, the vet, been around the block. He's fought and beaten some big names. Beating Dustin Poirier, beating some good guys, man. Albeit early in his career, it's been a while, but and he's not done. It's not like I heard I think Bisbee might have mentioned this a while back. Michael Johnson is not like a Frankie Edgar where he is getting towards the back half of his career and just getting knocked out and getting mauled by these guys. No disrespect to Frankie, but the reason I bring that up is Michael Johnson, yeah, his record's not good. I think he's what you said, 2018.
Yeah,
That's not good. But with that being said, he's lost some close fights to really good opposition. And for the most part, no matter who he's in there with, he's game, man. He comes to fight. He's there. He's tough. With that being said, I'm gonna go with Mark. Mark by decision, man. I think I think this could be a striking heavy matchup, but Mark's got a good kickboxing base. But if you go back and you watch film on him, the difference in this fight, his last 2 or 3 fights, I think it might be his last 2 fights, maybe his last 3. Um, he kind of went away from just straight up kickboxing and started mixing in some wrestling, some good takedowns. I think that's going to be the difference in this fight. If he continues to wrestle and mix in his takedowns, I see him winning the decision. If Johnson can keep it on his feet, um, I'm not saying Johnson's going to completely outclass him, but if Johnson can keep it on his feet, I'd probably lean toward Johnson. He's got a little more pop in his hands, in my opinion. He's a little more explosive, but I'm gonna go with Mark. I can't say his last name, so I'm not even gonna try. But I'm gonna go with Mark by decision, and I think his takedowns will be the difference. Right? But don't sleep on Michael Johnson.
no
He's
doubt.
definitely
Plain and simple, man. Johnson's got to knock him out.
yeah.
That's the path to
I
victory.
agree.
He had a close split decision loss, that which I thought he'd win versus Jamie Malarkey his last fight. And it's like even his losses aren't looking bad, except Clay Guida, which we're gonna talk about later on. But Johnson's fighting the best of the best. I mean, he has his whole UFC career. This I feel like this fight is like, if he loses, I think that's his last one in the UFC. Uh Diakase, when he first came on, I think he had like 3 knockouts and lost a couple fights, changed some things up in his game, and now he can wrestle. So that's always going to be, good in case he is getting rocked by Johnson. He has that wrestling to lean back on. With that being said, I think Diakase is better on the feet than Johnson. They both have knockout power, so factor that in if you're betting on this fight. I never really like to go bet on fights that they can both knock each other out. But with that being said, I think Casey wins. More ways to win. I think he's, in his prime right now. I think Johnson's out. Johnson might lose his fight. We might see him on bare knuckle. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Probably make more
That
money.
that would that
I
would
feel
be
like
good
he
to
would
see.
be. I feel like he would
Hmm.
be a dog in there. And
Absolutely.
yeah, Casey to win this fight.
But let me ask you this before we roll on to the next one. I think Dear Casey is more technical on the feet. I do agree with you on that. But just from a power perspective, who you give the power advantage to?
Johnson. Dia,
Me too. Me
Casey
too.
is more of a explosive. Johnson's got
Yeah,
heavy.
yeah. And so I'm gonna go back to my boxing days. I'm gonna say this too. They say in fighting, when you get in the bind, you go back to what you know. I'm not in the bind right here, but I still love my boxing. I know my MMA too, but boxing is my first love, man. So I'm gonna go back to old Teddy Atlas, man, for 1 second. Teddy Atlas always says this: "Give me a guy that has an eraser." And Johnson's got that eraser. What that means is, look, one shot, you hit you with, he can turn your lights off. Johnson does have that, but I'm going with the Casey. I'm still going with the Casey. But if it stays on his feet, man, I'm leaning towards Johnson, man. So
No
we'll
doubt.
we'll see how it plays out, man.
So we both rocking with Casey get the win, but we both agree that Johnson is going to be always live for a knockout. Next up, we got a battle of the oldies. We got Clay Guida, 40 years old, 37 and 22, fighting Scott Holtzman, who is 39 and he is 14 and 5. Who you got to win this one, man? Father Time.
Hey,
That's what I'm gonna pick.
hey, Father Time is undefeated, but guess what? The Carpenter, Clay Guida, getting another W, baby. One of my favorite OGs. Grew up watching Clay Guida. Man, when I turned the film on, I was nervous because I watched Scott Holtzman fight before, but as I went deeper dive into it, I'm really confident in Clay Guida, man. Yeah, he's Holtzman's probably got more tread left on the tires. Clay Guida's got what, almost 60 fights, uh, which is completely insane. You look at a guy like Clay Guida, man, you think, oh, he's been in so many wars, so many fights he's done. But I'm gonna tell you, yeah, he is. He's definitely on the back end of his career. But in this fight, man, Clay Guida's style is gonna be in full effect. We know what Clay Guida does: non-stop pressure, very cardio, uh, wrestling, in your face style. Um, that's gonna be the difference. I'm gonna go Clay Guida by decision. I think Holzman is the better striker for sure. But like I said, Clay Guida's non-stop pressure, wrestling, cardio, in your face style, it's gonna be the difference. We all know what Clay Guida does. I see it going to be in a Clay Guida style fight, and it's grinding out a hard fought decision, man.
Yeah, man. They're both kind of like not good matchups for each other. Clay Guida struggles with strikers who got takedown defense. Holtzman struggles with guys who wrestle him down. So it's really again when it comes to a close fight, we look at a couple things. Who got that dog in them? Who got a gas tank? And another one is experience. You mentioned Clay Guida got damn near 500 fights. Holtzman's got
Yeah,
what 20. Um, they're both up in age, so usually when we look at a Guida fight, he's fighting a guy, in his 30s or older 20s.
a prospect.
Um,
Yeah,
he's fighting a guy 39. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm looking at that, I'm looking at Holtzman's losses, and they're usually to wrestlers. You got Gamrot, you got Emmett, you got Darius, guys who can wrestle. And I mean, we could say the same thing about Guida. He's losing to guys who have good takedown defense or who are just specialists. With that being said, one of the closer fights I think on the card could go either way. But I'm riding with Guida based upon experience.
yeah. Like we said, Holden is the best striker, and Guida has struggled with that in the past. So hey, I'm not riding Scott off by any means. But hey, let me tell you something. I'm gonna go on the record by saying this. Any legitimate chance I can take to pick Clay Guida, I'm going with Clay Guida. Any legitimate chance I can, because I love Clay Guida. Like I said, I grew up watching this guy, and I think he legitimately is gonna win this fight, man. So I'm rocking with the Carpenter. Shout out to the
Yep.
Carpenter.
Close fight. If I was to do something, I would say all 3 rounds, go to distance, or bet the over 2.5. So that's our picks. Clay, close fight though. All right, a fight I personally can't wait to get into. Angela Hill, 14-12. Again, don't let the record fool you. Facing Emily Ducote, 12, coming off her debut win off of Jessica Pinier. Who we got in this fight, bro?
Damn, this fight got me tore up. So I'm gonna tell you, I love Angela Hill's striking. I started watching Angela Hill when she first got into the UFC, and I thought she was really gonna be a player, man. You know, um, she can strike with the best of them in her division, in my opinion. But I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna get it over with because uh, I hate going against Angela Hill. I do, but I'm gonna go with Emily Ducote in this fight, man. Ducote by decision in a really close fight. Could go either way. Ducote's a little more well-rounded. Hill's a great striker. Um, Ducote's a BJJ black belt. Also, really good wrestling, college wrestling experience. Uh, I think she got some Taekwondo experience as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I just think Ducote's a little more well-rounded, and I think her wrestling will be the difference. I'm gonna go Ducote to win the decision in a very close fight, but I could see Angela Hill, uh, outstriking her. I'm gonna just lock in Ducote, man, in a close fight. My ground game being the difference.
All right, I'm about to call you up to the podium. You ready?
Go for it.
All right. If Ducote fought Lemos, who fought a couple weeks ago, what would happen?
Uh, I know. Yeah, Lemos
Angela
probably win
Hill
that.
had a split decision loss to Lemos that could have went either way. I feel like a lot of people sleep on Angela Hill's grappling, man. She is a striker, but the girl can grapple defensively, offensively, all that. And she's fought the best of the division. I'm sorry, Dakota, but you're one fight into the UFC. I'm riding with my girl Angela, getting it done. Decision. And I think people are just gonna see that Angela Hill, you can't bet against her, man. And if you're looking for an underdog, if she still is the underdog, ride with her, man, because I see her getting it done.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, like I said, I like her Wayne. I do. She's a great striker, fun to watch. Never turns down a fight. Like you said, fought the best of the best. I'm just leaning towards the Cody, but fight truly could go either way, man.
Yeah, I see it going either way because Angela Hill does. It's happened a few times where she doesn't show up. If she shows up,
Exactly.
she definitely wins the fight, in my opinion. She doesn't show up, there's a good chance that she can still win the fight, but it can go the other way, in my opinion. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So
We'll
we
see.
split on this fight. Uh, like I said, do your own research, look at their records, study some film, but that's what we see on each end. All right. Next fight in the welterweight division, we have Nico Price 15-5 facing on Philip Rowe 9-3. Another close fight, another fan friendly fight. Who you picking wrong for this fight, man?
Well, we were just talking off camera, bro. This is where it's gonna get real. Okay. In this fight, I'm going with my boy Philip Rowe. Okay. Yes, Price is Rowe's toughest test to date by far. Two very exciting fighters. Another fight that could go either way. like I said, Price is Rose's toughest test to date for sure. But I give Rose advantage on his feet. He has some good grappling experience as well. Um, Price Price has to make it ugly to win, man. But and I think he also needs to try to get into the ground against Rose. Something tells me that he needs to make it ugly, try to get into the ground. I give Rose advantage on his feet. Price is very fun to watch. He's very fun to watch. He's awkward. He's gonna throw some crazy shots. But I think I'm going with Rose, man. I just give Rose the advantage. I really do.
Hey, listen, if it's on the ground, it's gonna be because Rowe takes it there. I don't see Price shooting at all, at all. Rowe is one of the smoothest fighters on the roster. With that being said, if you look at his record before he got into the UFC, he didn't fight the best. Um, and still in the UFC, he's not fighting top guys. Nico Price has fought top guys. And when it's a close fight again, I'm looking to see who got that dog in him. I'm looking to see who got a gas tank and who got experience. And Nico Price got all three. Very close fight. I have to agree with you on there. But I have to see Price making it ugly with the standing. Um, the only time I see him initiating some type of grappling is putting him against the cage, letting go, and getting crazy violent on him. If the fight is pretty, Philip Rowe wins. If the fight gets ugly, Nico Price wins. With that being said, whenever we've seen Nico Price in a pretty fight,
You're right. Nico's never in a pretty fight, but I'm gonna say I said Nico needs to get into the ground. I don't see it going to the ground at all, really much at all. I don't, but I feel like that'd be wise. I really do.
hey,
Roll, man. Uh,
I
huh?
feel I feel if Philip takes it to the ground, it'd be a way easier fight for him than standing up.
Yeah. No, but now if Philip gets to the ground and Price is on bottom, that'd be
That's
a
what I'm
different
saying.
story for me.
That's the only time I see it going to the ground.
Yeah. I don't see it going to the ground, but man, I really don't. Um, Price, Price, it, it's gonna test you. He's gonna come forward, put pressure on you, but and I hear what you're saying. Price has a lot of dog in it. He's been in wars, all that good stuff. But Price does get sloppy, man. He tends to get a. Can't you agree?
Oh,
He tends
absolutely.
to get a
But
little sloppy when the fight wears on.
I don't have him winning the decision. I see him getting a knockout.
You got him knocking out Silverblue,
Yes. Or
okay?
TKO.
Because I put in my notes robot decision, but he could stop Price. Um, I don't know. I'm rocking with Rowe in this one, man.
If I have Rowe, it's by submission.
Okay, okay, interesting.
But if you look at Rowe, man, he started in jiu-jitsu. He a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He grappled against Gordon Ryan. His grappling is really fucking good. Displayed it
Yeah,
in
he got some legit grappling experience. Yeah,
like,
yeah,
standing up. He's smooth, but like you know what I'm saying. When it's going back to what you said, I'm quoting you on this. When it gets real, you go to what you know. Started in jiu-jitsu. I can see him trying to take the fight down if it gets a little ugly or too ugly for his liking.
yeah. But let me ask you this before we move on, because we split in this fight. And we might have a little longer fight because we split in a bunch of fights. Which one of these fighters has more ways to win, in your opinion?
I don't know, cause like Philip can win a decision or Philip can win by submission. Price can win by knockout. That's how I see it.
So 2-for-1 with Rowe.
I'm going with a guy with experience who's proven to get it done.
Yeah.
Like
And hey,
Gabe, you know Gabe Green?
yeah, and I know Gabe Clark too. Shout out to the Don. But yeah, I
Shout out
know
to my
Gabe Green.
guy. So if Nico Price fights Gabe Green, he's flushing him. Gabe Green beat Phillip Bro. I know styles make fights, but I'm just trying to say what type of level he's jumping into.
Yeah. Coming out part of a Mr. Rule, baby. Yeah.
We shall
But
see.
yeah, all jokes aside though. Really close fight. I see exactly what you're saying too. Could go either way. It's gonna be a fun fight. So
Yep.
looking forward to it.
I would stay away from this fight. Very unpredictable fight. We're giving our opinions, but anything can happen. So we'll come back to the recap episode and see what's really good though.
Okay, looking forward to it.
All right, next up in the middleweight division, Alabama's own. I know how much you love Alabama. Eric Anders, 14-7, facing Kyle Dawkins, 11-3.
Go Tigers, dude. We better pull up the upset of the century this weekend in Atlanta.
What we got, man?
Okay, we got Eric Anders versus Kyle Dawkins. Another fight that could go either way. I'm going Kyle Dawkins by decision. I think his ground game would be too much for Anders. Although Anders is somewhat of the better athlete, I think Anders is an athlete, but he really don't scare me either, though, man. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Dawkins by decision and his ground game being a dinner. Then get into the ground and grind it out of the decision.
Okay. This is an interesting fight for me because you have Dawkins, who is more of a technician, as you would say, standing up. It's not horrible, but like, is Kyle Dawkins gonna knock you out or hurt you on the feet? The likelihood of that is no. He's using his strikes to set up his takedowns. Is his takedowns the best? Eh. Versus guys who can't wrestle, yes. Versus guys who can wrestle and you know, or kind of physically stronger than him, he does tend to struggle. But once he gets to the mat, man, he is a finisher. He will look for submissions right away, and he usually gets them. If not, he'll control the fight from there. And Anders does have wrestling. He did wrestle. Uh, a good athlete, has knockout power. Coming off a split decision loss to Park, who Park is doing good things in the division, and a lot of people thought Anders won. With that being said, when it comes to this fight, Dawkins has to get it to the ground, and I don't see Dawkins getting it to the ground until it's too late. And by when I say it's too late, it's gonna be like the end of the fight late, where Anders tends to fade in the fight, but he fades in round three. It's not gonna be round one, round two. And I think by Anders being explosive, good athlete, being able to wrestle, keeps it on the feet, is liable for a knockout for me. But I see this going by decision where 2 rounds in, there's Dawkins comes back, kind of controls the fight in the third, 29-28, Eric Anders.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm gonna ride with Dolphins, man.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, next up we have a late replacement filling in. We have Roman Dolidze coming off of a very impressive knockout over Phil Halls, facing the always dangerous Jack Hermanson. Uh, good, good middleweight fight they put together right here on short notice. Who do you got?
Man, okay. This is the least toughest test to date, in my opinion. Jack Hermanson can fight. So with that being said, I'm going with Elite by knockout. He's too powerful, too explosive, too powerful, too explosive. Uh, on the feet, and I think Hermanson's got to get it to the ground and win. I think Elite is just too powerful, man, too explosive.
Okay,
That's the difference for me.
gotcha. Both really good grapplers. Hermanson is more of an MMA grappler. Like I don't know how much he's did outside of MMA, like grappling wise, but I know Delise is an accomplished grappler outside of MMA. And we see it all the time when two wrestlers fight each other, they usually stand up. When two grapplers fight each other,
Cancels
they
out.
usually stand up.
Yep.
Right? It
Cancels
cancels each
out.
other out. When two stand-up fighters fight, they usually go to the ground. We just seen that with Izzy and Pereira. They had some. They don't shoot takedowns ever, and they was trying to wrestle each other. So they try to go into who's the more well-rounded fighter. Hermanson is proven to have stand-up, got a good jab. Sometimes he doesn't let it go when a guy has power. And in that Sean Strickland fight, he didn't let it go because Strickland had power. And Strickland was kind of able to just sit back, pick his shots, pick his shots. Delise
Yep.
has power. And Delise is also like he's not a guy with just power. He is technical. I would give the more technical advantage to Hermanson, but since Delise has power, I think that kind of cancels it out. And I see it being a decision win for Delise. Hermanson is a tough guy to get out of there. I don't see him knocking him out. He has a lot of experience, but I do see Delise landing big shots. If they go to the ground, I feel like it's going to be because Delise takes it there. I don't see Hermanson taking it to the ground. But I think it's a fun fight for the middleweight division. We do need new contenders, and it would be nice to see Delise get the win, get some fresh blood in there. And yeah, another close fight for me. And we have to factor in it's on short notice, so you know, that's another thing to factor in.
Yeah, and I think it's short notice. And like you said, Hermanson can fight. He's tough to get out of there. So it's not gonna be a gimme for the Legion to get him out of there.
Right.
But Hermanson taking it on short notice, that could help the Legion get it get him out of there too. So I'm gonna
But
lean towards the later
the
stoppage.
the lead say is taking it on short notice. Hermanson been training full camp.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. You are right. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Scratch that. But anyway,
Cut,
I'm still going. What's that?
cut.
Cut. Oh, I'm going with the Elite by second round stop.
Okay, okay. Putting some money down.
No.
All right,
Now,
next.
for him to win, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
yeah.
no
Yeah.
doubt. Another very fun fight we have in the heavyweight division. Another close fight. We have, get the shoes ready, get the boots ready, whatever you rocking. Tai Tuivasa, 15-4, coming off a knockout loss to Cyril Gane, facing on Sergey Pavlich, 16-1, coming off a win versus Derek Lewis. Who's winning the scrap, man?
Very close fight. One thing that we can both agree on in this fight, there's always at least one fight on the card. I think since we started doing this, where I say the judges can go get a snack, they can go to the bathroom, go get a hamburger, do what they gotta do. Well, this is the one right here. This fight hang on to the judges. Uh, Somebody's gonna get stopped. With that being said, I love Todd Bam Bam Tuivasa. Not taking nothing away from him. He's a very exciting, explosive heavyweight, legit knockout power, as most heavyweights have. But with that being said, I think you can keep your shoes on. I don't think we're gonna have shoes this fight. I'm gonna go with Pavlovich to win this fight, man. I think this is a tough fight to call, man. Either man can win. It's a toss-up fight for me. I think Todd being at a big disadvantage is gonna hurt him in this fight. It's gonna, you know, I think it's gonna cause trouble for him and ultimately frustrate him, man. And I think he'll catch Todd coming in, ultimately stop him. It would be smart. Not overall. Cyril Gane to me is a better kickboxer than Pavlovich. But if he can touch Tyler's body with those deep kicks, like Gane did, touch him to the body, You know, let them win out of three by themselves, wear them down. I think that'll be more from his way, and also keep him at bay and help him use his reach even more. Um, like I said, and Stewie Vasa is a brawler, man. He has to, we all know Tui Vasa likes to brawl. He can brawl. He can get inside on lower fighters and touch them up. And obviously, that's what he has to do. I mean, it's obvious. He's got to get inside and brawl with Popovich. But I think the reach is going to be too much for him. He also, when did he fight Gunn? When was that fight? You remember that date
Early,
on that fight?
yeah, early this year, not too long ago.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a pretty quick turnaround to come back and fight. After he fought and took some good damage against Gon, um, I see Popovich winning, man. I really do.
Can we make a side
And
bet?
what's that?
Make a side bet.
What we betting on?
All right. If Ty wins, you gotta do a shoey.
All right.
Bet.
What about if you win?
You name
I
it,
mean,
bro.
what about if I win? What about if I win?
You name it.
All right. Sounds good. $100.
Oh, nah, nah.
But let's see. Give me Kane.
Damn. Okay, that's okay. Virtual shake.
Oh no. Oh
Virtual
no.
shake.
I tell you what. You don't drink, do you? You don't drink, do you?
Hey, I'll drink for this one.
So if Bam Bam loses, you gotta hey, you gotta do a shoe with a big 44, a big 44, cuz.
All right, that's fair.
Alright,
All right.
that'll work.
Okay. With that being said, another close fight. If you're gonna bet something, bet it not to go to distance. Somebody's getting knocked out. Uh, if Pavlich would use his goddamn wrestling, which we have never seen in the
Yeah,
UFC, but we've seen it outside the UFC, it could be a more interesting fight. But we seen how much it took to knock a guy out like Ty. Not saying Pavlich can't do it, but with Gon trying to finish him, Gon took some shots. Gon shook back, but I don't know if Pavlich is gone. We seen him fight Overeem. He got ground and pounded, kind of hit pretty hard and then rolled over. We see Ty not rolling over. He's coming forward even when he's halfway dead. Um, Heart of a lion, got a chin, but is coming off a fight where he took some damage. Good leg kicks. He's not gonna be the more technical fighter. Pavlich gonna be the more technical fighter. But I see Pavlich getting the better of him and then Ty just kind of catching him when Pavlich closes distance. Ty's hand speed is very fast for a heavyweight. And when you're trying to have a stand up fight with Ty, I'm gonna go with Ty.
yeah. And like you said, it would be smart for Pavlovich to make some grappling, man. I think if he would get it there, it'd be over with. I agree. But I didn't bring it up just for the simple fact that we haven't seen him use it in the UFC. So until he uses it, I mean, I'm not gonna expect it. If that makes sense. So
So we have a lot riding on this fight. You know, if Ty wins, Harley's doing a shoey. If it goes the other way, I guess I'm doing a shoey. So all I gotta say is don't bet on this fight. Just bet it not to go to distance. It could really go either way.
well, we should have just sat back and watched this fight and got some popcorn, but we're too deep into it now.
Yeah, in too deep.
Right.
All right, next fight we try to give y'all the best analysis on fights. But with that being said, we're from Louisiana and we know some of these guys fighting from Louisiana. And if it's a close fight, of course, I know for sure I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna always pick hometown guy, the guy we've been watching fight forever now, and that's Matt Snell. So I know personally I'm staying away from this fight. I'm biased. Harley, how you feel about this fight?
Yeah, man, same way. Look, we not gonna give you all a real opinion on this fight, but I'm gonna say right now, I want Danger to go clean his clock. Uh, period. You know, if Danger wins this fight, it'd be a big win for him. And Danger's fun to watch. Both guys are fun to watch. It's gonna be a fun fight. So,
Absolutely.
so we just gonna sit back, enjoy this fight. Team Danger all the way, baby. Danger thing.
Yes,
Let's get
sir.
it. This one's easy.
All right, next up we have RDA taking on Brian Barberina. Uh, could be a fan-friendly fight depending on how it goes. What you see happening in this one?
Yeah. Like you said, could be a fan from this fight. Uh, Barberina loves to brawl. He can brawl. I mean, you look at his fight against Robbie Lawler. Dude, that fight was insane. Matter of fact, didn't we watch this fight together? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That fight was nuts, man. Um, and look, Barberina's got my respect. He's a fan friendly guy. And win, lose, or draw, he's gonna come to fight, and he's gonna come to take your head off. Um, could he win this fight? Yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna go with RDA by decision. Um, RDA is good everywhere, man. Great grappling, great ground game and grappling. Good stand up as well. People overlook RDA's stand up, man. He got some good kicks, got some decent hands as well. Um, RDA, as pretty much most of y'all know, he's a former UFC lightweight champion. He's fought the best in the world. Um, his experience is gonna play a factor as well. If Barberera can stop his takedown, it could get interesting, because he's not gonna allow him to brawl. But RDA is just too good, man, with his wrestling takedowns, and I see that being the difference in this fight. I'm gonna go with RDA by decision.
most definitely, man. If you ain't about to fight for the title or win the title before, you're not beating RDA, especially right now. You look at his losses, man. It's to guys who are had the belt or about to fight the belt, right? We have Fiziev, right? Probably a top five guy soon. We have Michael Chiesa, was in the top five. Leon Edwards, champ. Kamaru Usman, champ. Kobe Covington, champ. Tony Ferguson, champ. Eddie Alvarez, champ. Those are his losses. Let's talk about his wins. Neil Magny, Kevin Lee, Paul Felder, Money Moicano, you know what I'm saying? And we just seen what
Yeah,
he did. RDA, not to write off Barberina. Don't get me wrong. Barberina will fight and he'll beat guys he's supposed to beat, but when he's time to take that step up, he usually loses. Um, Not a knock on Barberina losing to RDA. I got RDA as a lock in this fight. I don't know if you might see a submission finish. I don't know if you'll see a KO or a TKO. Barberina's tough. But if he gets to the ground, then I could see it getting the finish. But other than that, I'll go RDA decision all day.
same here. RDA takedown, he's too good with his takedowns, man. And yeah,
Absolutely.
Barberena is, he's explosive on his feet. He can brawl. But like I said, don't sleep on RDA's stand up either, man. You
Right.
know, it's not bad. So, I mean,
At the
he
end of the
got,
day, you have to be more than a brawler to beat RDA.
what's that?
You have
What's
to be
that?
more than a brawler.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. RDA, to make a long story short, he's a more technical fighter, and that's going to be the difference.
Absolutely. All right, main event time. We have Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, the Karate Kid, facing Kevin Holland, the Kung Fu Kid, aka Big Mouth. Who's winning this main event, man?
Okay, Zachary, can we do a little change of pace on this main event? I'm
Let's
gonna
go.
let you go first. I'm gonna sit back, let you give me an analysis first, then I'm gonna go after you.
Okay. Both guys love to strike. With that being said, can I take you to the stand?
Yep.
What striker has Kevin Holland faced? Pure striker.
No man.
I don't think anybody in the UFC.
Yeah.
Pure striker. Wonderboy
Um,
Thompson versus pure strikers. His record is pretty freaking good, right? He makes strikers go in for takedowns. Right? Gilbert Burns, pretty good striker. Had to take Wonderboy down, right? So that being said, Holland does, have a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But
you said a mouthful there.
when it comes to wrestling, he trains defensive wrestling, right? Defensive wrestling. When it comes to Wonder Boy's training camp, I guarantee you 99% of Wonder Boy's training camps was to stop the takedown. You have to be a elite level takedown artist to get Wonder Boy down to the ground. Right? Gilbert Burns, very elite fighter. Jiu-Jitsu black belt, very good wrestler. You got Bilal Muhammad, very good wrestler, elite fighter. And then we have Holland, who's kind of a wild card, right? If you was to tell me Holland would have knocked out Jacare off his back and then ground and pounded him, I would have been like, ain't no fucking way. But Holland is very random. We've seen Wonder Boy get caught with a random shot from Pettis. You know what I'm saying? So I do factor that in. But if I'm leaning for a 5 round fight, I have to go with my guy, Wonder Boy Thompson, who's going to be on the outside, throwing side kicks all day, throwing the jab, feinting the jab, throwing the cross, going back to the side kick, and just keeping the fight at his range. And it's going to be interesting because both guys aren't really used to fighting guys with, you know, as much as reach as them. And Holland's going to have the reach. And
Big reason there. So,
still don't see it. I don't know, man. Holland's gotta do more standing up to like really win this fight. He's got to be an MMA fighter. He can't just be a brawler. And I just see Wonder Boy being used to that style. Seen it way too many times. Wonder Boy is 39, but ain't the average 39-year-old. Wonder Boy by decision.
okay. This is a very because I see all those points. This is a very tough fight. If we weren't doing this fight, I would just. I mean, if we wouldn't be doing the pod, I'd just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. You know,
Enjoy the shoey.
but it's yeah, but it's our duty to do diligence and give the fans our honest opinion, whether we agree, disagree, or anything in between. With that being said, I'm gonna go Holland by decision. I'm gonna go Holland by decision. Not my most confident pick at all. I promise it's not my most confident pick, but something's telling me go with Holland. The simple fact that, well, let me. I wanted to start off with this before I give why I say Holland's gonna win. I'm so glad both of these guys are fighting strikers. You know, Thompson fought Gilbert Burns and who else? And fight before that?
Let me see. No, he fought Vicente Luque, Bilal Muhammad, Joff Neal, Anthony Pettis, Darren Till, Masvidal, and then the
Yeah,
Willie.
yeah, but he's coming out back to back wrestling, right?
Uh, yeah, Bilal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, and then you got Holland, who just got. I don't want to say thrown to the wolves because he didn't have to take the fight with. He took a fight with uh, Kamzat Jemayev on a crazy Diaz versus card.
Right.
On one day's notice. That sucks. We all know how that went. With that being said, it's gonna be a striking-headed matchup. Could go either way. Holland, you got a big reach advantage. I don't see it going to the ground as much. If it goes to the ground, Holland's got the clear advantage. Um, he's showing the ability to submit some guys. Thompson, yeah, does have the better footwork. He's a more technical striker. I do see that. That if he wins, that's gonna be it. You know, like you said with the side kick, touching him with the side kicks in the body, doing all that good stuff. But I see Holland's reach causing a problem for Thompson. Uh, Thompson is the older guy. I think Thompson needs to win this fight, man. I'm not writing him off at all. If he wins this fight, they're getting right back in the mix. If he loses, he could be done. You know, so I think this is a huge fight for both guys, but even more for Thompson's career because even if they don't cut him, if he loses this fight, they'll use him as a stepping stone to throw in more up and coming wrestling style fighters. Um, so to me, this is a must win for Thompson. Man. But like I said, you give Holland the big reach advantage. He's got that advantage on the ground. I'm gonna go, and he's a younger fighter. I'm gonna go with Holland in a very close fight, man. Could go either way.
How you got Holland winning?
Man, he's gonna have to. Thompson's path to victory is that awkward style, um, using those side kicks, using his footwork. Holland's Holland's style is just using his reach, man. Um, if he can work behind his jab, if he could get it to the ground, I think it'll serve him well. Even though I don't see it getting there much, I think it'd be wise for him to get it there, man. And I
So
just see him, huh?
you got him by knockout or you got him by decision?
No, decision.
Okay. Okay, so you got Holland by decision. I got Wonder Boy by decision. It's gonna make a hell of a recap episode. Uh, somebody's gonna have bragging rights. A lot of close fights, but I would stay away from this fight for sure. Another unpredictable fight that can go either way. And even the fights that we were split on, we both see each other's point of view. So do your own research. But next we're gonna drop our parlay. All right, so at the end of every video we offer a free parlay, a chance to double your money up. We're not financial advisors, but this is what we're going with. First we have Yasmin, straight up win. We have Francis Marshall, straight up win. We have Pierce, straight up win, and then we have Tai Tuivasa versus Sergey Pavlich, not to go to distance. You put those four down, whatever you put, you win it. You're gonna double up your money. That's my free parlay. And before we leave, anything to the viewers?
Man, enjoy this card, man. It's gonna be a lot of very close fights, very entertaining fights. The best part about this card is free, people. So you can't beat that, man. So enjoy these fights. 15 fights, great card from top to bottom. Looking forward to beating Zach and having a great recap episode. Zach's
Yeah,
gonna be doing a shoey.
we got shoeys on the line, we got parlays on the line, but the best thing about this video is it's for free. You get a chance to double your money for free. We do endless amounts of research. We watch videos throughout the week, weeks before the fights. We study, like, we're trying to give y'all the best quality video when it comes to analysis on fights, to where you don't have to do any of that. All you got to do is subscribe and watch,
Tune
and
in.
at the end, have a chance to make some money, make some guap, and watch Harley do a shoey. Let's go.
Let's get it.
All right, till next time. Recap episode coming next.
Peace.